Hi everybody, welcome to the newest, all new and improved episode of What's My Age Again? I'm Matt Rhodes, and my handsome friend over there is the other Matt Carline. How are we
Bonjour,
all?
bonjour, bonjour.
How are we doing? We all right?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good, good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's still in lockdown, so it's not ideal, but what can we do
Well, that's it. We can sit in our
apart from
houses and we
talk,
can.
yeah, talk shit and drink on Zoom. That's
Mm,
the best way to get through this.
so I'm becoming quite an expert at these web chats now.
Oh,
Honestly.
I thought you were going to say quite an expert at drinking. I was like, oh well, aren't we all these days?
Oh yeah, I mean that's a that's like if I was doing a degree, that'd be a minor. It's there, but so,
I like it.
what are we talking about today, Matt?
We are going to be talking about music, and specifically music that we grew up with, and one that we're of the opinion that music hasn't really gotten that much better since what did you say, like 2000, like early 2000s onwards, like
Yeah, yeah.
anything past 2010 or something, is where essentially like our golden era of music was like between like 99 and 2010. I'm assuming that's what we're going for.
Yeah, well, this is it. I think
Personally, that was mine anyway.
this is as I was saying to you when we were having a quick discussion about it. Like older people, obviously, they're saying, "Oh, music." I'm aware it makes us sound very old, saying, "Oh, no, music's shy now." But
Mm.
you say, "Oh, the '70s and the '80s, brilliant," like, and I can see that. I can absolutely see that. That you might say, "Oh, you know what? Loved Queen, can't get enough of it," or even ABBA, and it's of its time. But I can't see anyone turning
Yeah,
around in 20 years and going, "You know what? Oh, DJ Khaled." Uh, it's not obviously not like I'm sure he's lovely and he's it is what it is, but don't know. It all seems very short lived at the moment.
yeah. I think music's a very evolutionary thing in general, anyway. And I doing through discussion with people online and on like other like social media platforms, it's become apparent that obviously we have this attachment to music in general, and we have like our personal feelings towards it, and I think that's why we feel so strongly about the music that we grew up on, because all you have is just like memories and memories and memories, and it just sums up a whole time in your life that things might have been easier because if you're not in your 30s and you're not having to worry about paying bills and saving for a house and all that kind of stuff. You're kind of just young and you're free. And what's the most important thing going in your life? Having enough money to go out on a Friday night and drink loads of Lambrini or some horrible.
Lambrini. Oh, I don't see.
Lambrini boys want to have fun, Matthew.
I don't think the reason I don't drink loads of Lambrini is because I've not got the money for it. I feel like it's 350 a
Well, put
litre
it
or
this
something,
way,
isn't it?
yeah, I used to get a lot of it for not a lot of money, so that was like my go-to thing.
Mm.
That and like the small bottles of vodka that would get
Yeah,
you absolutely paralyzed.
I know we're in lockdown and everyone's struggling to get stuff, but have you had the? Have you seen they've got a new flavour of hooch? Um,
No, what
and
I thought hooch was just the hooch flavour.
well, check this out for marketing genius. Hooch, yeah, tropical flavour. So tropical flavour. You know what they've gone and called it?
Mm-hmm. What?
Hula hooch.
They've
Well,
won. They have just won.
yeah,
They've won lockdown. Well done, guys.
well done. The good people at Hooch. If you want,
Hula hooch is crazy.
yeah, you want to send us some free hula hooch.
Yeah, we'd love to be sponsored by hooch.
Yeah, well,
You know, I really like hooch though. It's such a great throwback drink to have. If I ever go out in town and I see hooch and I'm sick of beer now, hooch is the way forward.
well, it's part of the greatest cocktail ever invented, isn't it? It's I can,
Go on.
I mean, the way you're looking at me now, it's like you've never had a gooch. It's
I don't know. I've never had a gooch. I'm trying to think what a gooch could be.
Delicious is
Does it begin with? Does the spirit begin with G or not?
it certainly does.
Oh,
It's only
it's not Guinness. It's not Guinness
no,
hooch, is it?
oh no, not an animal.
That sounds awful.
No, it's only a bloody gin and hooch. Oh, what a mixer!
How did I not know it would be gin? That'd be crazy. Yeah, that is a fantastic mixer. It's almost as good as like a turbo shandy.
Yeah, it's like rocket fuel.
When you have lager with Smirnoff Ice, half and half.
Terrible idea.
Chef's kiss.
Terrible idea.
It's beautiful,
Well,
but we digress. We digress.
once again,
Let's get back into the topic at hand. So music. So first of all, it's probably a good idea to let the guys listen to this or watching this know what kind of music people we are. Why don't we have a musical journey? Tell us about your musical journey, Matthew.
Well, this is the thing. I will. I'll listen to more or less anything. This is as far as genres go. I don't really fuck with dance music, but apart from that, like it's all over the show. To the point where, like, some really weird stuff. If you're after some odd music, come to me. I tell you. Recently, I've been on.
Come see your dad.
Recently I've been on a band called Ruskaya. It's like they're a ska band.
Ruskaya, no.
Ruskaya, I believe. I don't speak Russian. This is the so yeah, they're a Russian ska band, but they do all the covers you could ever want. You know that really famous Avicii song? Well,
yes, I'm going to say yes.
You've never heard it sung by an intensely Russian man, have you? You've never lived.
No, I can't say that I have. And
I'll sort you some links out, don't worry about it. I'll sort you some links, don't worry. Once there's a danger of getting sidetracked again. It's a rabbit hole, that.
Yep.
But yeah, like, it's from, obviously I like my punk, I like my metal, I like my rock, pop, rap. I'm a big fan of hip hop and stuff. The issue isn't necessarily the genres.
No.
Is what I'm saying. It's a question of quality. And what about yourself, Matt? What?
Again, I'm very much like yourself. Got a very eclectic music taste. I do fuck with dance music, though. I do like a lot of dance music. A lot of late 90s like dance is pretty insanely good, and one of the best songs ever written, "Pretty Green Eyes." It's a glorious song.
One of the best songs ever written.
That's a slight exaggeration. No, it's an absolutely amazing song, and it really shouldn't have. Especially when I was younger, it shouldn't have been a song that I liked, because back when I was in my teens, it was, if it weren't pop punk or punk, or like indie rock, then it wasn't worth my time. But then Pretty Green Eye came along and just blew my mind. But yeah, that's a big thing that I was into. And then after that point, I kind of really started embracing a lot of pop music, and a lot of older bands like The Cure, Queen, Simply Red. There's like a lot of stuff that Human League as well, and stuff that I knew about when I was a kid. Didn't really take in that much. But then it kind of really came to the forefront of my musical taste when I got to my late teens. In fact, one of the bands I used to play with when I was younger, called Paper Hearts, we used to cover a load of like chart music, and that was like one of our things. We'd always try and do a new chart cover. So I really started to really appreciate a lot of chart music, and it's stuck with me throughout all my life until I think about 2 years ago. I don't know why this is. I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
I know why it is.
But I do not know any relevant chart music now. Apart from if it's on TikTok, then I know it, because I joined TikTok because I was bored. So if it's on TikTok, I know it. If it's not on TikTok, I barely know any chart music, which is real. I was just disappointed with myself when I realised I didn't actually know about any relevant music. I don't know if it's because it doesn't excite me. I don't know if it's because I'm just out of the loop. I don't know what it is, but chart music has just kind of it's left my repertoire of music that I listen to now, which is quite disappointing because I always like to keep abreast of what was going on. But now I feel like I just don't. Is that age? Is that the whole going over the 30 hump, or is it something else?
No, see, I don't know. I feel like there's certain. I don't follow. I don't follow the popular music, Matthew. But there's certain like artists and stuff. You know, Luis Capaldi can't get enough of. What a guy.
Oh yeah, and hilarious as well. But I
Yeah,
think that's the reason why he's so good. I'd never listened to any of his music, but started following on Instagram just because I'd seen videos on Facebook about how funny he was. But then I
mm,
would listen to him in that actually going, oh, you know what? I think I might listen to him. Amazing,
yeah.
good
Well,
lad.
this is it.
All aspects of him. What an amazing guy.
This is it. And then I mean, the fact is that now I'd rather, as much as it makes me sound absolutely ridiculous, like, aha, here is behold an old white man. Um, but you know what? I'd rather listen to country now. Not bothered. Uh,
Right.
yeah, a mate of mine's got tickets to go to country up in Scotland next year, and I could not be
Oh,
more
nice.
jealous. Unbelievable. Um, but what do you do? That and like the country pop crossover is very much there.
Are you talking about T Swizzle?
100%. Old Swifty. She's
Swifty, getting Swifty.
what's not to like, yeah? What's
Oh, before we go any further, can I ask you your favourite Taylor Swift? So you've got, I think there's three versions of Taylor Swift. You can either have country, pop, sensation Taylor Swift. You can have um, provocative Taylor Swift, or you can have rebel Taylor Swift. So that's like early Swifty, middle Swifty, and Swifty now. What's your favourite Swifty?
right? So it's a complicated one because to me, Matthew, they're all the same. You know, she's nailed it. She's carried on nailing it. And she probably will. It's a treat. She's upsetting white supremacists now. You know, she's sticking up for the gays. Well, fuck you, well done. Good on her. Also, you know, that lip sync battle with The Rock doing Shake It Off, 3.5 minutes of gold. Like what? But yeah, you know, I'd struggle to pick. I would struggle to pick.
Oh, okay.
I assume you've
This
got
is
an answer.
number two.
Number 2, straight down.
Yeah, like is it the album 22?
Yeah.
Is I think I'd classify 22 and the one that I'd Shake It Off on. I think they're classified as middle Swifty, and then anything after that album is Rebel Swifty and Dark Swifty. That just reminds me of you know how I Met Your Mother.
Yes. Yeah.
You know the bit where Robin turns from Robin Sparkles to Robin Daggers. That's what this kind of iteration of Swifty just reminds me of that. I have no idea why it just does.
Well, them's the breaks, apparently.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, and there's stuff like I think the problem is the consistency of country music. It's even bad country music makes me laugh, whereas bad pop music bores me. So,
What do we think? Why do you think that is though? That is the writing of the songs not as good? Because there's obviously a very strong argument to say that the technology is improved. The recording actual music is so much better than it ever probably could be. Compared to like stuff like if you take consideration like with the way that Oasis used to mix albums and the production used to get on it, and they just call it like the wall of sound mix. So that all they do is just turn everything up as high as it can go, and it's just like a wall of noise. And that was the way that they just made albums, and that's the way that they recorded them and how they sound. And that's why you don't really get anything like that these days, because everything is because you can use so many different programs to get different kinds of sounds and get the different variations of what you want. That the production value of music is incredible these days, and you can't deny that. But that means that if it's not good, then it must be the songwriting, and it must be the structures and the melodies and everything, and the lyrics and stuff. So that's what is it about this modern music that doesn't really appeal to you, Matt?
I mean, while you were describing that, then I had a horrible realization. Maybe it's not the music. Maybe it's me. And the music, and the music, like you said, the recording, and it's all very good. But I spent quite a lot of time listening to like black metal from the early '90s, where it's all recorded on dictaphones, and it's almost the point is that it's not polished and it's not and it's the experience in itself. But like you said, it might be the fact that there's only so many songs that you can like in your entire life, and I've splurged them all in my 20s, and that's it.
I like that. That might be good. So, like, what you're saying. So, like, if you like any current music, any songs that come out now, like one pops out from the back, like
one drops off the
one
end.
escapes. Yeah, one drops off the end. So you're like, oh, that song was really good, but I don't like it anymore because it's made room for this new shiny song that's come along by Taylor Swift.
This is it, and then at some point,
knocked out a Black Sabbath song.
This is it. I'll be at a wedding. I'll realise I don't like Sweet Caroline. It'll be horrendous.
Just to the dance floor, just like really let down by the whole thing. Oh.
And everyone will be shouting, as they always do.
I know.
Typical.
And you'll just be there going, no, don't like that song.
It's like, sorry, Neil. It were a good song. What? Sorry.
It's been discarded. We're not allowed it anymore.
This is it, and they'll be the ones that go first. It'll be Sweet Caroline gone. It'll be Proud Mary. That'll go. Miserable at these people's weddings. These hypothetical weddings.
That is a good point though, because if you think about stuff like weddings and like important events, disco, like family discos, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, whatever you call it, you have wedding songs. So we have songs that are played at weddings that are just like are going to be played. So you've got like Sweet Caroline, you've got Come On Eileen, stuff like Call Me Out, Sex is on Fire by Kings of Leon, Killers, Mr. Brightside. So them songs entered the fold at some point, which means that we are going to continuously get songs throughout time that are going to make their way into weddings and stuff like that, and like solidify themselves as wedding songs. But I can't think of anything that happens now at recent weddings that would be played at weddings in the next 5-10 years. Is that because after Mr. Brightside, we've not had an overwhelming song that you can put into a wedding track listing?
I don't know. See, I feel like I forget when things came out. Because
Brightside must be before 2000, easily before 2010. That has to be. Same with Kings of Leon.
Yeah,
I'm sure they were out before that. Although do not hold me to that because I cannot back that up.
That's legal.
I might do a Google.
That is legally binding.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously it entirely depends how cool your friends are as well. I went to a wedding last year, and they're sickeningly cool. The couple, they were horrendous. They got there, and everything was very, very cool. Like they had the.
I feel like you're overusing the word "cool," Matt. There's something very uncool about to happen.
No, well, this is it. I got there, and I was out of my depth. Like, I know you know me yourself. I like to deliver myself as somewhat of a Fonzie. However, it was incredible, this wedding, and they swapped out the hymns for Motown songs and everything. It was absolutely fantastic.
Ooh,
yeah, the font was just full of champagne. What a time to be alive. But then I feel like that wedding has ruined other weddings now, because I'm going to go to another wedding and be like, I mean, where are the Motown songs? Where's the
Yeah.
baptismal
Like,
font full of champagne? Do you not love this
the
woman?
bar was here that they're set, and every other wedding is just going to be off screen.
This is
Never
it.
going to complete.
He's ruined it. But
These people at weddings.
I'll tell you what, they had candy floss. Put a load of that in some gin.
Ooh,
Yeah, what a treat.
what a delight.
But again, we're getting sidetracked.
I feel like we're going to do this quite a lot.
Yeah, what I'm saying is Bob Mooney's wedding, best wedding.
Oh, Bob Mooney. I don't know Bob Mooney.
Yeah.
Hey, what a guy. Yeah, he's a top guy, Bob Mooney. In fact, he was one of the guys who replied to the social media post that I sent out regarding this episode. So I'm probably going to read his out just because you've mentioned him and he's good, and he's playing in a band as well.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Bob Mooney. Here we go. Possible future guest.
Well,
Possible future guest. Anyway, so back to the old music. I feel like we should probably delve into the first albums / singles that we ever owned, because this is what I posted on social media, and we'll get to other people's social media replies after the break. But shall we have a look into the albums and singles that we first owned and see whose is the most embarrassing?
Absolutely. Go on. You go first, and then I'll decide whether I want to divulge, depending on how much you embarrass yourself.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do. We'll do the first single and first album that we ever owned, and then we'll do the ones that we bought with our own money, because that's the difference.
It's different, yeah.
Because there's a big difference in time. Because unless you only started listening to music when you were old enough to buy music, then
Or
when we were younger, you would have.
Perhaps you were a particularly rich child.
Oh, yeah, maybe that. But even at that point, I don't think, when I first discovered music, I don't think I'd have understood that I had to buy music. You know what I mean? It just happened, as far as I remember. It was one of those things where I was like,
are you alluding to certain programs illegally downloading?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
That would be
that came later in life, not at this point. Destroying computers with LimeWire didn't come till a bit later on.
Destroying computers, upsetting James Hetfield. You know, it's not.
Hey, Napster's a bit different than LimeWire. So it can be annoyed all it wants, James. But I did not contribute towards that, the Napster stuff anyway. So I'm gonna tell you about my first single. Right, so this is my earliest memory that I had of getting a single. So I think it was the same. It was back when tapes were singles.
On a cassette.
So my first single was a cassette tape. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was 3 singles that I bought in the same day. So I'm contributing them all to the same purchase. I'm pretty sure that I got Will Smith.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure it was Wild Wild West.
Ooh, controversial, but good.
Big tune. I'm pretty sure another one was Madonna, Beautiful Stranger, from the Austin Powers soundtrack, Austin Powers 2 soundtrack. And I believe the third one would have been an S Club 7 song. It has to be the one that came out around that time. I feel like it was off the second album. Ooh, it might have been S Club Party, because that was off the second album, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. So yeah, they were my first singles. And my first album was, in fact, S Club 7, the second S Club 7 album.
Nice. Strong.
I think I got that for Christmas off my mother. So,
yeah, so...
Cheers, man.
That's out there now, isn't it? So, well, this is the problem, because now I'm going to tell you what I bought, and everyone listening is going to go, well, why would we care about their opinion on music? So, the first album I can remember having, and check this out, yeah? So I've got a little brother that's 5 years younger than me. Back in the day, you get an album as a joint present, perhaps.
A joint present.
Because I mean,
Oh, okay.
realistically, my parents probably didn't want 2 copies of a Craig David album um, in the house,
Wait,
or
everybody wants 2 copies of Craig Davis albums.
well, one for the house, one for the car. It's
Exactly. Can
so
never
yeah.
have
I
enough Craig
mean,
Davis.
yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but belter of an album.
Is it the one? Is it one with headphones?
Yeah, I think it's in beige, like weirdly
That's his
neutral
debut
colours.
album. I'm sure it was his debut album, wasn't it? I had it on the tip of my tongue then. I had it on the tip of my tongue.
I
Mm,
couldn't
yes,
tell you.
yes.
Yeah, I got the Aqua album, you know, with Dr. Jones on and Barbie Girl, and that sort of hit. And
Wonderful.
I can see you struggling to picture it now, but I didn't always look like this. I was a particularly
No,
I was a particularly small, strange child.
no, no. I refuse to believe you did not come out looking normal. You had a
Then
beard.
yeah, I had Millennium as well. Well, good album.
Absolute phenomenal album, Millennium.
Well, I mean, that being said,
One of my favourites.
Big
One of
Willie
my
style as
favourites.
well. That's a belter.
Big Willie style. Not as good as Millennium though, for me.
I don't know. I feel like they've all got the plus points.
Of course they do, but Millennium had Will 2K on it. It was the song of the 2000.
This is it. Everyone else was worried that the Y2K bug would delete all our bank accounts and make our mortgages invalid and what have you. Meanwhile, Will Smith making hilarious puns. Millennium.
Excuse me, Millennium.
Those are man who's invested heavily in solid money. Will Smith's money is in gold. That's all.
The man
Yeah,
is a legend.
so that. But then, obviously, the first album that I can remember that I bought with my own money was it was some Kerrang compilation album.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So you got it as part of a. Oh, you bought the. You know it works with the magazine. It was actual.
No, it was
an actual compilation album.
I think they call it like Kerrang Unleashed or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely would have owned one of them.
And you know what? Absolute belter. All the hits. Very much of its time, like it Queens of the Stone Age, and I think Hall was on there, and like
Oh, nice. Well, I think a lot of compilation albums were a big thing. We'll probably go about more into that later when we get to the social media bit. But from the looks of it, compilations seem to be a massive thing when we were younger, like huge. Obviously, you have no real need for it now with Spotify.
No,
because you've got like every song with the click of a button essentially, but you can make your own compilations.
Incidentally, I feel like after we've done this, when you've watched your magic and run the edit and what have you, we could throw together a playlist of these absolute gems.
Just are we talking absolute gems from? Can I have Will 2K in it then? Can I have Millennium on it or not?
Yeah. No, it's going to be Millennium. It's going to be Big Willie style,
and then that's it. Will Smith greatest hits, essentially.
Well, that's it. Maybe he'll come on show. You never know.
He's everywhere at the moment, so it won't surprise me. He'll just appear out of he'll just appear on a Zoom call and be like, "Hi guys, here I am." Here he is. Woohoo!
What a good Will Smith impression. I wasn't expecting that.
Woohoo! It's the Family Guy one. Like wipe your shoes on the mat before you come in the house. Someone just to clean that mess up. Woohoo!
Saying I'm not good at impressions myself. I can do a I'll save this for a special occasion, but I do a belting Boss Nass impression.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
So maybe keep listening to the podcast. It might turn up.
Yeah. You just, on the people who's going to wait with bated breath for every single episode now for you to just finally unleash this impression.
That's it. And then
But
when
you can't build this up. We can't put too much pressure on you or anything because
that's it. It's going to come out of nowhere. I'm not even going to announce it. I'm just going to do it, and then you'll know. You'll be surprised, and you go, "Oh bloody hell!" If it isn't a big old Gungan, that's what you say.
And then people will stop listening to the podcast because they'll have been pleased with the
because we jumped the shark. So
I'm gonna tell you now about the albums that I bought and the singles that I bought with my own money, and then we're gonna go to an ad. So
yeah,
for a single I ever bought, I am pretty sure the first single that I would have bought would have been. In fact, I think it was like a joint combo thing. I'm pretty sure I bought "Million Miles Away" by The Offspring as my first single.
I've just realised what my first single was. Go on, carry on, and then we'll.
And then my first album was "Conspiracy of One" by The Offspring. That I remember physically going out and buying myself and being extremely excited that I had this album. And I was like, wow, I just bought this album with my own money that I saved up from my paper round, and I bought this album, and I am super excited to take it home and listen to it. And I blitzed the album for years, and it's still a great album now.
It's a very good album.
So, Offspring, they were like a huge part of my musical journey. Amazing band, very good live as well. Very good live.
Yeah, I saw them at Download a couple of years ago, and that was. Take it off the list. They were really good. But yeah, the first single I had purchased. Can you remember OPM?
Of course, can. Heaven is a Half Pipe.
Well, they had Heaven is a Half Pipe, and it was that was a single, and it had I think it was called Captain Morgan as the, for want of a better word, B-side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
nice.
It was very odd.
I do remember OPM. I'm pretty sure they made an album and then disappeared off the face of the earth. Is that right?
As far as I know, yeah, I'm sure. Well, this is it. Heaven is a Half Pipe gets played every week in Satan's, so they're getting that sweet Satan's money.
that serious cash money is just from Satan's. They're sat at home, living in like the worst squalor in the entire world, but at least they've got money to buy groceries.
Well, this is it. The irony being, the money you get from Satan's, buy drinks at Satan's.
It's a vicious circle. It's just a vicious circle. That's all it is. They turn up every week just to get that money, just to get paid, and then they just spend it all. I don't know why they live in England and Manchester specifically. But welcome, guys. It's nice to have you.
What a treat.
Where is Heaven is a Half Pipe to? Come on, we've been waiting for years for this, guys.
This is it. Like
get it in. Get it in the books.
It writes itself anyway, because you go off on a tangent, don't you? If Heaven's a Half Pipe, then you can say like Purgatory's a vert ramp and Hell's a ball. Done. There you go. Three songs. Thrice your money.
We'll give you that for 3. All we expect in return is a couple of double Jaeger bombs when we go to Satan's.
It's it, an executive producer's credit. That's
yeah, oh yeah, of course. And the legal jargon, of course, but more importantly, the Jaeger bombs. Okay? But we'll save the inability to really booze for another episode. I think what we should do now, Matt, is go for a small ad break and then probably hit some of the social media. Hit the social media desk. There we go.
Social media desk.
Hit the social media desk. It's piping hot.
Okie dokie. Well,
we'll go. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Here's a message from our friends and yours.
This podcast is part of That Thing You Might Like network. Here's something you might like. Find us on socials at TTYL Network.
And we're back. We are.
We are. Yeah, we're back.
Oh, I can't wait for the
By the way, the B-side on that single, I believe, was El Capitan.
That's the one.
It's the second highest played song on Spotify by OPM.
See, like, it's very important you put that caveat there because,
Of course.
yeah.
The album was called Menace to Sobriety.
Oh, well.
And they had one album before that called Lost Society, I think. I think it was one album. Yeah, one album before that, and then they were releasing music up until 2010 OPM.
I mean, this sounds a lot like I've got a lot of OPM to listen to.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a whole lot of OPM to listen to.
I can't wait.
I don't know what you're going to do. This is your next 4 weeks of lockdown. Sorry, I could hear my cat somewhere, but I can't see him.
I did see it earlier, so it does exist.
It was literally sat right behind me before, but I can't seem to see where it's gone now. Okay, so do you want to welcome us back in?
Okie dokie. So, hi everybody, we're back. I hope you at least learned something. If you're maybe it's a podcast you want to listen to. I don't know. I don't want the advertising for a minute. Maybe it's a product you want to buy, a service you want to render.
I can tell you right now, it is a podcast. We're advertising a podcast.
Excellent news. If it's,
yeah, because that's the only thing we're advertising at the moment is more content for people to listen to.
If it's Colimania, what a treat! What a guy!
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if he's my friend and yours, what a guy, Reece Cole.
The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Reece Cole.
You know, last time I saw him, he appeared out of nowhere. I was sat minding my business in a pub. He appeared out of nowhere with a rum and black currant for me, passed it across, and vanished. I saw him for about 5 seconds. He was just gone.
He is the kind of person that if you go out on a night out with, there's been many occasions where we've walked into somewhere and then within literally the space of seconds, he is somewhere else. And you don't see him for like another 20 minutes because he is literally just doing the rounds. Because he can go to anywhere and people are like, "Oh, it's you! Oh, it's you!" And he's like a social butterfly. It's incredible.
Man of celebrity.
Incredible. Oh, of course. Like, and a man that charming and that lovely is obviously going to be a well-known man.
And there you have it. What better?
There we are. Yeah, so he's going to be on the show at some point. So
to be fair, if I were you, I'd put that. If I were you, I'd put the Colimania advert in there. What a treat!
In fact, you've sold it because it's either going to be Colimania or the MCU podcast. So we'll go with Colimania.
To be fair, you're all right as well. So the MCU podcast, everyone get on board.
Cheers! Anything from that Thing You Like network. So right. What we like to do is what we like to do. We've only been doing this twice. I like to put some feelers out on the social medias and on other forms of communication. See if anyone has any either stories or any opinions or like just general musings about the discussion that we're talking about today. I'm gonna hit you up with a few things that I've learned through the posts that I put out there on social media. The first one, the Now albums. Now that's what I call music.
Yes,
has literally turned up in almost. I'd say about 9% of the people's lists that people gave me. Now that's what I call music of some variation throughout the years has turned up in the albums that they have bought or they have like been given. Even a gentleman called Mr. Ian Wood, who is, I want to say, in his 50s. I'm pretty sure he's in his 50s. He
absolutely gamble
he got Now. He said he got Now 2. He got the second Now album, and he bought them up until Now 40. But he was a DJ, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he said that the Now albums were just like the perfect album you can buy, and I understand what it means because now that's what I call music albums. They just represented everything that was going on at that moment in time in music, because although it was very mainstream, you knew that any like rock bands that were doing a good job would make it onto their albums, and that's what
Well,
made them a big band or a big artist
Yeah.
by being on that CD.
Well, this is, I mean, recently, I said recently, about 10 years ago now, probably, they re-released Now, That's What I Call Music 1. And I think they did the second one.
Yeah.
And just, it was for some anniversary. And I got hold of it. And it's an absolute cracker. But again,
Yeah, I bet it is.
that sort of reinforces the point that Now That's What I Call Music 1 is considerably better than Now That's What I Call Music 45 or whatever you want to
I think they're up to 90, I want to say 98, 99, I think they're up to at the moment. But I don't think they actually release them anymore. I think it's just, I think they're just net. Oh, no, they do release them, but I don't think you get physical copies anymore. I think you can buy them on iTunes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're just like an institution of music. The same with, Ministry of Sound again.
Yes.
Also, just like a staple of just, if it was like a seal of approval for any like decent music. If the Ministry of Sound, if you want a compilation that they put out, you know it was good, or you know you were doing something right. And that's the same with Now That's What I Call Music. It was such a cultural indicator for what was going on, and it was, and I think we kind of forget how important them albums were.
Yeah.
Growing up, because I'm pretty sure that most people would have owned at least 4 or 5 of them. Because I know I did. I got one that was like had 4 CDs, like a double one. It was like a bumper edition, and it had like 4 CDs, and it was incredible. There was so many good songs on there, and it's just I really, really cool. And I think they kind of underappreciated, but it just screams my early childhood. The Now albums. Did you own any albums? Any Now albums?
Like I said, I had relatively recently got Now 1. And I did have a couple back in the day, but I couldn't tell you which ones. Like you said, it was a sort of a, hey, here's what's been in the charts in the last 6 months, sort of. It's all right, but it's not, like, obviously by the time I got really into music, I started going a bit weird with it. And so I sending my poor, long-suffering parents out and being like, do you reckon HMV have got a Norwegian metal section? They're wandering around with a 14-year-old with her down here going, oh, it's all shite, isn't it? Like, it's
that's fair enough.
To be fair, aside from that, that's what I'm like now. Just wander around miserably, just kicking off.
Just not being impressed with the CD selections.
No, that's it. Going out to clubs in Manchester off of a weekend and going, oh, it's ridiculous. They've not played any Taylor Swift. It's
Is Taylor Swift not cool anymore? Then what's going on?
I mean, she's very cool. Let's not.
Yeah, well, she is cool, but I mean, you don't hear a lot of anything at the moment because we obviously can't go out. But I can't remember.
I do because I'm stuck in my house.
Taylor Swift on constantly on repeat.
That's it. It goes Taylor Swift, Macklemore, like Emperor. What a trio!
That is a running order. What? Yeah, that is an absolute running order of phenomenal music there. Do you think that? So the music that we listen to when we're like say on a night out. So the music we listen to, we probably go to different kinds of clubs to a lot of mainstream people. We probably wouldn't. We like our specific genre of music, which is why we probably tailor ourselves to more of the clubs that play that kind of music. I do frequent a lot of establishments that won't play the kind of music that I would normally go for, and now I feel like it just I don't know. I don't think I can dance to it anymore. And you might not know this about me, Matthew, but I love to dance. I'm a big fan of the dance.
As it happens, Matthew, I do know that about you because a mere 3-4 months ago, we were out on the Works Christmas do, weren't we?
Of course, yeah. I completely forgot about that night.
Oh, you can move.
Shapes.
And you know what? I tell you who else is a surprisingly good dancer. All 6'8" of Dave. Look at
Oh yeah,
honestly.
our friend Dave from work, who I'd love to have on the pod because he's a very funny guy.
He's got a signature dance.
He does. I don't know what you'd call it. Freestyle, maybe freestyle dancing, but not in the way that people would classify as normal freestyling.
Avant-garde, I'd imagine.
God. Nice. Dave's
going through his cubism period as regards his dancing.
Yes. It's very sharp shapes.
I mean, a lot of people would call it derivative, but not me.
not this guy.
Not I.
But is that a thing? Do you agree with her? Do you think that a lot of music these days isn't necessarily a dancing kind of music? Like, I'm never gonna say if you compare some of the music that you'd hear in club now compared to stuff like a Stevie Wonder song, like Superstitious. Is an incredible song, and it's one of my favorite of all time, and gets me every single time. I can dance my ass off to that, but I'm not going to dance my ass off to. I'm trying to think of a popular song now. Drake.
Well, that delay was quite telling.
That Tootsie dance, whatever it is, that Tootsie one. Again, it's not something. I mean, you can add two-step to a lot of stuff, but you can't really have a proper boogie to a lot of stuff, and that depresses me. That's what I'm in the market for with my popular music, with me chart music. I want something I can dance to, yo.
Well, see,
throw the shapes off and embarrass the people that I'm with.
Well, this is it. But as a bit of a bigger fella, I tend to dance like 50 Cent. It's all two-step all the time, just like
shuffles, bit of shuffling.
The thing is, you don't even need music to do it. I can do it right now.
You know what we're not.
You'd never know, would you?
You could be stood up throwing some absolute shapes in a club for all we know, but no.
Graceful,
very graceful. What we are close to though, Matt. We are very close to the age where we can do the dad dance. We're not dads, but we can always do the dad dance. I'm assuming you know what the dad dance is.
Yeah, there's many variations of.
The dad dance I'm talking about, for anyone who's watching, it's the shoulder, like the status quo, like. But you have to do it to a certain.
You tuck your thumbs into your belt loops.
That's exactly the one I'm talking about. Yeah, so imagine like it's almost a bit like line dancing, kind of.
Yeah.
But you follow the beat, so it's. Just that kind of rhythm and tempo.
So is that your favourite dad dance then?
That's my favourite dad dance. Yeah, it's a phenomenal dad dance.
See, I think my favourite dad dance is it's not even really a dance. It's sort of an acknowledgement that there's music going on. Just the occasional nod. And then maybe if there's like a good bit coming up and they see someone watching them, that's the trick as well. Ideally, it's a child because there's nothing funnier than embarrassing your own kids, is there? So this is what maybe they'll throw in a finger, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's the most arrogant form. It's a very dismissive form of dancing, and I can't get enough of it. I feel like the confidence of a man who looks around the room and goes, everyone's having a dance. They're making themselves look stupid. Well done, sir.
With a little
well done.
A wiggle of the finger, and away you go.
That's it. And it's the same as, in fact, very much the same. If you're at a concert and you'll see people, there's the vast majority. I would say maybe 95% of the people. If they put their hands up in the air, it'll either be a standard fist, or it'll be your devil horns.
Oh, the horns, yeah.
One man, usually a man, just up in the air, just having a point. That's where the music is. There,
I can see it. I'm pointing at it. It's happening there. Just in case
Don't worry.
anyone's confused about where the music's coming from.
Don't
This
worry,
guy's
anyone.
got you. He's just,
I've got it covered. Spotted that.
I don't know if anyone else is noting this, but there's music coming from this place that I'm pointing at over here.
Does anyone else want a plastic 2-pound cup of Kronenberg?
That's now really warm and it's thrown over your head. That's the kind of stuff that we're looking forward to. That's what
It's
we've got
warm
to do.
and it costs £9.50. What a treat!
Oh my god, yeah. That's one thing that I'm not looking forward to having to deal with when we go back into the real world. Is having to actually pay for expensive drinks.
Well,
especially at gigs. Oh,
yeah. I went and saw.
Jesus Christ!
I went and saw the Interrupters in Manchester, start of the year.
Yeah.
When I went with my brother, who heroically decided not to drink, and spent a fortune because for some reason, bottled water is as expensive as pints.
It's because they expect people to be on drugs, so that's why they put the water price up, because people are going to buy them so they don't look like they're off their tits.
Yeah, and this is it. Like this, so to cut down on queuing time, obviously, I'll buy 2 pints at a time. And do you know how disheartening it is to go for a round that is only 2 drinks that comes to £11.50 in plastics in case you throw them at someone?
Makes me want to heave thinking about it. That's awful. That's really, really bad. One thing that I'm gonna throw at you now, right? So when I put this post out, a good friend of mine, Mr. Stephen Chambers, he had a different opinion of this, and he believes that music these days is probably better than it was back then. And he said that, obviously, like we discussed, he said the music, the production of stuff is so much better these days, and it allows artists to really like develop songs and to put a lot of time and break down genres, collaborate with different kind of artists, and it's just an overall better environment to release music. And a lot of time that music was like shackled down by labels and stuff, and people didn't have the freedom to write the kind of music they wanted to, because people could put out whatever the music they want, because there's so many different platforms to do that. He obviously said that he's got like fond memories of the music that we experienced as kids, because he's the same age as us, more or less. But he believes now that music has evolved that much that it's so much better than we could actually appreciate. Now, I do agree with him here, because there's music these days, the music that I do listen to is really good, and I love it. I do love it, and I can't knock modern music at all. It's just a pure connection that we have to the music we grew up with. I believe that was our golden generation for music for my lifetime. I know there's going to be albums that are going to come and go, and they're going to be phenomenal, and they're going to be really, really good, but I can't think of any of my favourite albums, bar like one maybe, that didn't come out before 2010.
Yeah, so here's the counter question, though.
That's 10 years. That's 10 years of music that I've listened to that isn't registering on my favourite albums of all time, which is mad.
So here's the counter argument.
Mm-hmm.
Because recording quality and stuff has got so much better, do you think it's a case of maybe the songs that we think are incredible are actually benefiting quite a lot from the fact that they're not maybe as good as they were they're not as recorded as well as they would be nowadays, to the point where if you put out a song, like for instance, I'm a big fan of the Misfits, right? And with the best will in the world, talent-wise, the Misfits are probably pretty mediocre. Like, I think they've got some incredible songs, but if you were to go, right, okay, well, here's a different song that isn't your song, play this, I think they would struggle.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I don't think you'd get away with putting out putting out stuff and hiding behind the fact that say, well, it's punk rock or it's
a poor quality of
yeah,
recording.
or to the same extent, like for instance, Motorhead. Well, I absolutely love Motorhead, but I don't think you could put out that many albums nowadays that were so similar without people going, hang on a minute, this is the same as what I paid for last year. So
yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that's the great thing about this argument, is because there's not necessarily, although we came to the episode and we said that we categorically think that music hasn't got better from that point. We don't mean every single bit of music ever that's ever been written after 2010. We just mean in general, we feel that the best music was written then, because some of my favorite songs of all time have happened in the last few years. But it doesn't necessarily mean that their albums are fantastic and all of music is better. There's an argument for both sides, and what we're trying to do is try to decide: is the fact that we've turned 30 or are in our 30s now, has that changed our perception of music, and are we not willing to give new music a try because of the fact that we are getting older and we don't either understand it or don't want to understand new music? Is it that's the discussion we're having. We're not necessarily saying that music is shit now and it was well up back then. We're saying something has happened to make us not be as fully invested in current music as we used to be, even with older bands as well. Like some of the new music, a lot of people I know would say that bands that we used to listen to were younger, the music these days isn't as good as the music they used to put out. I mean, the same band, and they've got all the best tools in the world, but doesn't mean that the music they're making is better. But
no,
I don't necessarily think that's true either, because I think a song, if you like a bit of music and if you attach yourself to it, it's because you've got the connection and it's the feeling that you have when you listen to it that makes you enjoy it. So it can be a shit song, but as long as you like that song,
well,
what's the real problem?
I mean, so check this out, right? Prime example: Blink-182.
My boy, Blink-182.
You've got you've got Buddha, Cheshire Cat. You got Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. You got Dude Ranch. Excellent. Okay. I then didn't like the self-titled Blink album, which arguably not the most recent one, which I do quite like.
Number 9.
Was it self-titled or was it the
one
with Feeling This? And
that's the entitled album. That's Blink-182.
Yeah. Not a massive fan, but I can look at it and go, that is musically probably better than grown men listing swear words, and but by the same token, that's not necessarily what I want to listen to.
No, that is true. I'm not sure how many episodes of this podcast I can do anymore, Matt, because you've literally just said that the best album I've ever listened to in my entire life is not that good. So,
well, I think you know what I just said was that musically it's actually probably quite a lot better. But what I want is songs.
just not for you. No, yeah.
I want songs about songs about
you
Star
want songs
Wars,
about dicks,
teenage drinking, ideally dicks.
Well, funny enough, they've resorted back to doing that when they released California. So just skip out Untitled and Neighborhood, and you're totally fine.
Yeah. Well, I do.
Totally fine.
I absolutely do. And you know what? That's not even an indicator on them. That is me.
No,
that's just you.
That is my problem with
growing up and doing your job properly. It's like, oh, well, if you could get away with not learning how to play guitar, why would you learn? Not ideal, really.
Logic. Absolute logic. Logic thrown out is mind-blowing to me, Matt. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Minimum effort, maximum payoff. That's what I'm after. Every time.
Talking about minimum effort, maximum payoff. I want to tell me what you've been doing, what research you've been doing in this subject.
So, funny you should say minimum effort, because essentially the people I've spoke to for various, like, I've checked in with my mum and dad, obviously, by this, my brother, various of my friends, and each one of them I've snuck into the end of the conversation, perfectly normal conversation. How is everybody? How are you doing? I've snuck in going, you got thoughts on music?
Nice.
And I think what I have found, which surprised me, pop music's for kids, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
of course it is.
Like, everyone's, like, when we were listing first albums before, and there's whatever way you're going to end up, whether you like pop music your entire life or whatever, even the most hardy metalheads and hip hop heads and what have you, they all start off on albums like "Now That's What I Call Music," or and it does baffle me that these are people like who wouldn't dream of purchasing it now. Like a very good friend of mine, like, and he's, to be fair, he's too metal for his own good most of the time, but he was talking about it, and he'd say, "Oh yeah, well," and I'm fairly certain he wouldn't. I couldn't confirm it properly because he got very defensive about it. Fairly certain, big old Venga Boys fan back in the day, and yeah, and now
Well, we all.
well, yeah, nothing. If you know what, sometimes rooms needed shaking, and we needed to be on various party buses and what have you. But this is the problem.
Yeah.
He's gone from a relatively normal taste of music, so now it's all church burnings and dark masses and what have you. And fair enough, you know, I don't mind some of it. It's pretty good, but to deny the existence of the first part seems a bit insane.
Yeah, it almost sounds like the rebellious phase that you go through when you're like in your teens and you're like, I do not listen to anything apart from this kind of music that I like, and nothing else is good. Like, I like hip hop, I don't like pop music, I don't like rock, I don't like. You dismiss all kinds of genres. But I think you're right with the fact that I'd say that now that is what we're talking about. That is midlife crisis material right there. No offense to your friend, obviously.
Balls to him.
We don't want to
there. He looks like a fat Russell Crowe.
But I think you hit the nail on the head, though. No name can't get mad. I think you are right with the pop is for kids, because if you think about when you were like a toddler or when you're like a really young child, you'd have music that you'd listen to that was just encouraged for you to just get involved and for you to dance along to and for you to like learn how to say words and stuff. And then it's the catchiness that is why it's pop music, because it's just a popular, catchy music that you learn to enjoy, and that's probably why you like that as a kid, because it doesn't necessarily need to be the most intellectually groundbreaking song, but if you can sit there and sing it and join in with it, then it's done its job, and then your taste and progression of understanding music changes. And that's why people go off on different genres. Some people might stay with pop because they don't feel like they need to go into something different, because like if they enjoy music for just dancing and singing along, and it just the repetitiveness of it, then that's fine, and it does work, and you can't really fault people for that. It's just what happens in life. So yeah, that makes total sense. That's
good.
I'm 100% behind that. Anything else from from your research?
More that one of the big things I've found, you might notice this as well. A lot of like the more trendy and fashionable people at the minute are going back onto like Northern Soul and Motown classics and this that. And it's again, my question is, do you not think that weirdly wedding music might be the best music?
Sorry, the Zoom messed up there. I didn't hear any of that. All it was
Okay, so said, here's a concern, because you know a lot of the more fashionable and trendy people are going on to like going back to like Northern Soul and Motown and that sort of thing. Do you not reckon there's an overwhelming concern that wedding music might just be the best music?
Ooh.
Like, and don't get me wrong, it's not my favourite music. But if I have to put on let's say you're at a family party and your mum goes, put some music on. Like, I can't go up there and go, all right, brilliant. So we'll just chuck on like the cattle decapitation. It's not like I can't lead with that. and by the same token, I probably couldn't get up there and be like, all right, well, who likes Cypress Hill? You know, you can't. It's, but you can say, all right, well, just Molten Gold. That'll do everyone.
Yeah, it would.
And you do,
especially if a couple of beers.
Mm.
Oh yeah, 100%. Down with that. That is so. Am I worried that wedding music might be the best kind of music?
Yeah, and we're all just lying to ourselves.
Like party, when you mean wedding music, I'm assuming you mean like party playlists, something that's just going to appease the whole masses.
Yeah.
Possibly, but then by the same token, if you like you said, if you just put on an album of Motown music, and everyone, you can guarantee that everyone is going to at least like some of that stuff. Doesn't that just mean that Motown is the best music ever created? If it enables the whole room to at least enjoy a certain part of it, then surely that means that it's the most popular kind of music ever created.
Well, good. I'm glad we've sorted that then.
We may have just solved music.
Yeah, finished it, nailed it.
Completed it, mate.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you wanted to throw in before we put the lid on the box of music and never talk about music ever again?
I think we've covered everything. Apart from, I'm going to give a special shout out to my friend Tom Marshall, who did say that his first album, first single they ever bought was Mr. Blobby, Ooh. And he said music has not got any better since that point. I can tell you right now, I'm not sure if he's lying or not, or just having a joke, because he's a very dead fan, and over Facebook messaging, you can't ever read this guy. So Tom, Mr. Blobby, the Mr. Blobby song, I agree. What an absolute banger.
Well, yeah, why
Top
not?
Ever.
So here's the thing. How do you feel about so like parodies and themed bands and that sort of thing?
I love it.
Oh, good.
Absolutely love it. Big fan. Like the Concords, Weird Al Yankovic, Lonely Islands, countless other ones.
Special guest mention
to name a few.
Special guest mention to the Beards.
The Beards.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a big fan.
4 albums based around having a beard. Like that's some sticking power.
That's impressive. I mean, I'm not. I couldn't even think about writing one song about a beard.
Well,
let alone 4 albums worth.
They've all already been written. They're on them. They're on their Beards albums.
Yeah, of course, exactly. And once you've already written 4 albums about beards, nobody else can write any more albums.
Well, I
about
think
beards.
that's the problem. I think that's why they stopped touring in the end, which is a tragedy. But
yeah.
Anyway,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Shall we wrap this one up then?
Yeah, I feel like we're coming to the end of it now.
Should we lock the box, throw away the key?
Lock the box. It's fine. The music's sorted. We nailed it.
I've completed it, mate. Completed it. So I think that just kind of leads us on to what we're going to talk about next episode. What are we going to tackle?
So next episode's a big one for both of us because it is arguably might only apply to us. Is getting your first tattoo after you're 30 a mistake?
Who knows? But we are going to try and aim to answer that question. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But you will find out more when we do discuss this. I think we're going to try and get a guest on next episode as well. Is that right?
Well, this is it. We'll either get someone who, I don't know, we'll get someone who has tattoos, we'll get someone who's 30, or we'll get someone who doesn't have tattoos or isn't 30.
Could be any one of them. We don't know. Life is full of choices, and we are going to choose one of them.
This is it. And the thing is, the one thing that we can more or less guarantee, they'll probably be all right with Motown.
Yep, yeah. But that's the one thing we've learned. That's the thing we can take away from this episode. Motown is the best genre of music.
Yep.
Hands down. Hands down. Hands down.
Right.
Well, tell you what. I'm going to tell you this. If you want to follow this podcast and everything that we do, you need to go to where, Matt?
It's a good question, Matt. You need to go to. Okay, so we're on Twitter at what's_age. That's it. Yeah. I mean, we're lucky to get that really because there's a lot of Blink-182 fans were biting at the bit there.
Chomping at the bit for that.
We're on Instagram as well. Not that there's anything on there yet, but we'll do that. I'm sure. Maybe when you get there will be. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on Instagram, and that is what's my age again? TTYL. All one word, no capitals, because grammar's for nerds.
Nerds.
Yeah. So I mean, there's all sorts, and occasionally we might say something funny. So
yeah, that's cool. You can find me on Twitter. Matthew Thomas Carline, Instagram at Matthew Thomas Carline, and that's cool. Matt, where are you? Where are you on Twitters and that?
On Twitters and that, I am on Twitters. I am at Beastly. Yeah, right. Because there's a story, and I'm going to have to tell you every time I mention it because it's ludicrous. But essentially, my Twitter account started as the Twitter account for a shit punk band, which was me and my friend who looks like a fat Russell Crowe. So, I'm on Twitter at BeastlyBeastsHC. That's just, I mean, it's a shame you'll never hear the music because we're lazy. But yeah,
straight up lazy.
That's it. And then I'm on Instagram. The same thing. It's in fact no, it's not. What a complete lie. The Instagram was another band which I also stole. The Instagram is the Metal Men. So yeah, you find that there. Today I've put up a drawing of the Wendigo that I just did. So that's a laugh, isn't it?
What an absolute delight. Yeah, what an absolute delight.
I'm not handling social isolation particularly well. Doing a lot of drawing, you know. Colouring.
I'd say that's a good thing, though.
Well, this is it. I've got a pack of bloody 400 different pencil crayons. You've got to use them somehow, haven't you?
Of course you do. Yeah. Can't draw on them walls, can you?
Well, that's it. I think
you could do.
Well, what a bargain.
Anyway. Wow, that is a bargain. So many pencils. I'm going to do a quick shout out before we go.
Yeah.
So anyone listening on the podcast, I want you to go to my Instagram page and I want you to find my post that I did regarding these bracelets. If for anyone watching on the webcam, on the videos, I'm holding a bracelet. It's a nice rainbow bracelet made by a friend of mine's wife called Liz. She's making these for £5 each, and she's doing it to raise money for the NHS. So you can get one of them. They're really, really nice. It's good, obviously going to a good cause as well, trying to help our guys on the front line, which obviously we are very grateful for everything they're doing at the moment. And also, shout out for this T-shirt that I've got. If you can see, Bad Luck Book Club.
Yeah.
It's an absolute... Matt likes this shirt, and it's
I'll be
made by
getting
my good friend.
mine. Yep. 100%.
Made by my good friend Andy Thomas. You can find him on Instagram at Bad Luck Book Club. That's Bad Luck Book Club. Bad Luck Book Club. You can order one of these T-shirts, and he's a good guy, and he makes good T-shirts, and he knows his books. So that's my shout out for this month. Apart from that, I'm good. What about you, Matt?
Yeah. I feel like as long as everyone's staying happy, staying safe, do it. Aside from that, do what you want. All right. Look after yourselves, everyone.
Do what makes you happy. Bye.
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 Bye.